tu não deixar o likezinho, vai dar BO, mano. Deixa o likezinho, compartilha com seus amigos.
Cadê? Vou ver o vídeo do Seeel, mano. Precisa absorver, mano. 43 minutos de um bom vídeo, tá?
Let's start with Smiley. I think
E aí, Danilo?
before we start with Smiley, what's really important is... So let's start with Smiley. I think before we start with Smiley, what's really important is you guys understand my scouting process. Does that make any sense? What's really important is you guys understand how we got to pick getting Smiley anyway. Okay, so we're gonna go on, and I'm gonna start off by, I can't show you everything, guys.
Smiley é
Because obviously there are some details in which is not allowed to be shown. So give me one moment. I'm going to change screen and I'm going to show you some of the things that we.
Mas ele jogava onde? O Master.
Oh, I'm really big here. Give me a sec. I'm going to show you guys my Viva Key plan. And kind of how we reach there.
Hi, I really like the way you coach. I've learned a lot from you too, especially when you really broke it down for Sir Skati.
Thank you, Zabon. I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. So I'm just setting it up. Okay, excellent. So for you guys to have a really good idea on how we scouted our players, we need to first start with our comprehensive plan.
É isso que a gente vai ver quando eu amassar seu crânio.
We had this comprehensive plan, and I can't show you all the pages because there's some secret details in there. But let me start by talking about how we got to the scouting process. So the way that we scout right now is actually a multi-level system. This is kind of what we're looking at. First of all, we assess high value, low cost gems.
Brutas de alto valor.
So like, so this is a startup ran by my friend Mephisto. He's a head coach. He was ex-head coach of Vitality, along with the analyst from G2 back in the day. And basically what they do is they cross-reference data between champions and other players within high elo. So they start with about 500,000 games in Europe, 500,000 games in Europe, more games in Brazil, Korea, altogether millions and millions of games. And they assess the strength of each player based on, what their ability is and what certain stats look like. So to give you an idea, for example, what we found amongst top players is that they tend to have higher deaths, high KDA, and very high damage done. And the way that you calculate this is instead of just looking at the DPM, you compare their DPM when they play a certain champion, right? So for example, when they play Lee Sin, what is the damage per minute? What is the KDA? What is their gold difference percentage relative to the competition? When you have, for example, a player that plays Lee Sin in the same elo, you can see which one is the better Lee Sin by calculating that, and they get as much data as possible. Does that make sense? So to give you a rough idea.
Isso aqui que ele tá falando é como ele achou o Tokoali e o Smiley? Ou ele já conhecia os caras, será?
Let me give you a screenshot of kind of what it looks like. It looks something along the lines of, I'm gonna skip the names, okay? Like this.
Processo de scout.
But there's a lot of there's shit tons of data, and this is based on all the games, right? And I won't show the names, but then we assess their strength based on each player, and we go through Brazil, North America, Korea, etc. And it goes over their solo queue data primarily, right? So this is my first step. The second step is, and we paid money for this as well. And this is what I really liked about Key. They invested in data mining. Number 2 is play history. So I will look at their data with in-game replay. So I'll watch the actual game inside solo queue, inside team environment, everything. I will go over the game day VOD, like how they play in person, their first person view POV. So this is where I cross-reference kind of my understanding of the game. Yeah, and of course I won't disclose all the intel, but like my understanding of the game, which is not replicable by every coach, right? So for example, how do they click? Do I like the way they click? Do I like the way they move their mouse? Do I like their communication? Do I think
é isso que a gente vai ver quando eu amassar seu crânio.
And then from there,
como assim? Eu gosto do jeito que ele clica.
Intel, but like my understanding of the game, which is not replicable by every coach, right?
Isso
so,
tem?
For example,
tipo,
how do
tu clicar feio, tu clicar bonito, isso existe?
Click, do I like the way they click? Do I like the way they move their mouse? Do I like their communication? Do I think that they're making the right decisions inside the game? And then from
Agora
there,
é
we looked
oficial.
at like the interview process. So what we really looked at was, team culture. Is it the
clico
right
feio?
profile for the team that I want to build? So
não
something
acho
that's
não.
very important to me is I think that the current professional
acho
Brazilian
não.
team culture and the way professional plays is ran is esports in itself is in its infancy. And even major
mecânico.
regions are not doing it correctly. In Brazil, it's even worse. So the practice culture, your work culture, the way that you treat your teammates, the way that you talk to each other, everything
Guys,
is
mano,
terrible, really. And
o Cold Seal tirou o seu skit que é um esmeralda brasileiro na Coreia do Diamond pro mestre, mano. Depois disso, eu já vi o suficiente,
I'm willing
mano.
to take the flak for that if you don't like it, but that's my honest opinion. So what's really important for me is, do we have the right personalities within the
Tem
team?
noção disso?
And then I will also
cara
assess risk.
executou um
Are
milagre,
our
velho.
players drinking alcohol?
Claro, se o
doing
skit é um grande
drugs?
jogador,
Do they like
entendemos isso.
partying?
Mas, pô,
For me, partying is a no-go because, I mean, the way that
alguma
I view
coisa ele
the
sabe,
way that I
mano.
view esports is like esports is sports for me. It's not sports in the sense that a game publisher owns the sport, so it can, in my opinion, never be a true sport. This is the problem with esports because the game publisher has too much power, the rules.
É
Já
isso que
não
a gente vai ver
bastava o
quando
match
amassar seu
fofo,
crânio.
agora
It's
tem
sport in
ainda o
every other
clica
way.
feio.
The
A
stress
régua tá cada
management,
vez
the
mais
training,
alta.
everything.
Tem
So,
o clica
in the middle
feio,
of a
mano.
training season, what's really important is your team culture, your individual processes, your coaching, your
depois 4
training
meses, Luke, é
schedule
nóis.
slash like other things related to training, and then obviously things like data, etc., etc., etc. Right? And for me, I truly believe that during a season, maintaining your condition, this includes health, skill, is a part of your job. The truth is, and I'm sorry to start here before talking about Smiley, but this is very important when I talk
Cadê o
about Smiley.
Smiley?
Okay?
Fala do
The truth
Smiley.
is, how you feel and how healthy you are also impacts how you play. And we're very lucky. Like, esports pays well. Compared to your average Brazilian, people are probably making 2-3 times salary minimum in this industry. So, so what are the pros and cons of a pro player?
Será?
One
Acho
is
que é
that
mais, mano. Ó, infos que eu tenho é que a média de salário do CBLOL aí é uns 8k, mano. Pô, 8k é mais do que 3 salários mínimos.
you have an intense
Salário
schedule.
mínimo é 1.300? Pô, uns
But so this is the con.
5, mano.
Con is that you have an intense schedule. There's a lot of stress. Maybe not in all teams, but at least in top teams, there needs to be a lot of stress to perform, to practice, to put the time into work to play solo queue. And this also means you need to know a lot of skills. You need to have a lot
É,
of
mas
skills
isso,
that
isso
people
aqui
don't
na real, não sei se é tipo Conta Academy, né? Eu falo do CBLOL. Se Conta Academy deve ser
usually
isso aí mesmo.
So stress management,
Academy é pouco com rato.
like your nutrition, sleep, all this stuff really matters a lot, right? But what are the pros? Well, first of all, the pay is massive. The off season is really long,
Cara, não é pouco
right?
não, mano. No
So
Brasil.
a normal human being works Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and they take Saturday, Sunday off. A pro player works 6 days a week. They train Monday. I mean, I think it's different in Brazil. I think it's like Thursday
Pô,
to Friday, Tuesday to Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? They play on Saturday, or they and then they play on Saturday, Sunday, rest on Monday. So they rest one time a week. And generally, your season goes like 10 weeks regular season, and then like 4 weeks
é foda falar de média quando tem um cara que ganha 100 mil reais. É,
playoffs.
mas
Let's
a,
just say that
a
you
média é
go
8
to
pau,
MSI,
mano.
whatever. That's another 4 weeks for MSI, Worlds, etc. Right? So in total, you work about 36 months of the year. 36. Sorry. 36
Mas é
weeks of
antes
the
dos
year.
céus essa
But this
média.
also means that you get 16 weeks of undisturbed break. So when you
Férias
calculate the
tranquilas?
amount of
Eu
days
gosto de
you have
férias
off
tranquilas.
over the entire year, it's way more than the regular person. So there's no reason as a pro player,
Que ele fala?
undisturbed break. So when you calculate the amount of days you
Ele
have
falou
off
que os pro
over
player
the
tem
entire
muita
year,
folga.
it's way more than the regular person.
Ele
So
ganha
there's
mais que a
no
pessoa normal e
reason
tem mais
as a
folga que
pro
a pessoa
player
normal.
You should be partying before your game day. Does that make sense? Like if you're partying to release stress, or if you're
Tem
drinking
soft na
alcohol to
jogada.
release stress,
Tem
you have
soft na
bad stress
jogada.
management skills. And it's not just Brazil; it's everywhere. So what you have to
gosta de uma
realize is
festinha
like
antes dos
team
games,
culture and your personality is very important. You are not going to go out partying the day before the game day. Being fired. if you go
O quê?
out
Uns
partying
quatro
before
meses de
before game
férias?
day. I don't give a shit. Like, I will throw the season.
Mês
It's
8
that
até
simple for
12,
me.
pá.
So if you want to lose your job, sure. I don't give a fuck. So if that's your problem, you can leave. And that's also one of the reasons why we assess risk. What are their hobbies? What are their habits? What kind of personality type do they have? And how serious about improving?
Caralho, esse
Because
scout
in the
tá,
end,
mano,
you are
peneirado
treated as an
mesmo,
athlete, and I
filho.
treat you with respect.
Os caras
Anyway,
querem achar o
next
próximo
point.
Messi, mano.
So after we do that, we assess our bidding process, we assess our budget and our circumstances. And let me tell you something about Smiley. Okay, Smiley, I worked with Smiley in 2021. Right, this is where we come to it. And I have
Ele tá
never
velhinho
in my
já.
career worked with a more outstanding player when it came to team environment. This is when I was his coach. And back then, I wasn't a great coach. And the reason we didn't win is because 8 weeks into the season, so almost 2 months into the season,
Que
they
liga
took
é
my
essa
top
aí que
laner,
eles
who was my star
jogaram?
player. So that's why.
Ele é
And
fiel
what
à
else do we know
France,
about
pá.
Smiley, guys? What else do you guys know about Smiley? He's an LFL champion. And he played with Tukui. Ricardo, what you have to realize is he's not Diamond 1. This is what I was saying, right? Like, what people don't realize is that this account that people,
Ih, os
people
caras
see
falam que o Maria
is
deu
not his
Casa
real
caiu,
account.
velho.
It's his fake account. It's
Ah,
his
fake
it's not it's just the
account.
account that he plays on during the season.
É,
And
minhas
it's not
contas é
loading for
fake
some
também.
reason. He's much higher ranked. He has a secret account.
Ih, tem
So
conta
what else do we know
secreta.
about Smiley?
Aí é
First of
loucura.
all, I think that Smiley made a really big mistake in his
Essa eu
career,
uso direto.
right?
Essa
I'll
da
be-
conta
I'll be
secreta eu
really
cansei de usar já.
The mistake that he made was here. He joined two shit teams in a row. No offense. Incredibly trash
Essa
teams in
da
a row.
conta
So why did
secreta
this happen?
pega.
Well, the first reason he joined these two
Pô.
teams was because
Não, calma aí. Não, sem zoar. Tipo assim, ele falou que o cara joga, tem as Smurf D1 e tem uma conta secreta. Pô, isso é esquisito, não, mano? Não sei, eu não conheço o Smiley. Às vezes é. O cara pode ser muito bom, não sei o que lá, mas, pô, ele é um profissional. Ele tem que ter uma conta que todo mundo saiba que é ele tá bem ranqueado e tá jogando bem, não? Pô, que porra, tu quer uma conta secreta, velho? Por que tu quer que não saiba que é tu, mano?
the mistake that he made
Qual é a
was here.
finalidade
He
disso?
joined
A não ser que tu está
two
sendo exposto, pô. Tá low mestre com 1 milhão de jogos.
teams in a row. No offense. Incredibly trash teams in a row. So why did this happen? Well, the first reason he joined these two teams was because, I mean, he
Pra
did.
dar rage?
Not money. He
Damn.
got jailed. I can talk about it because it's not me, right? I can talk about it because I know. He got fucking jailed. So what happened was if you look at his career, he won France Championship and then he signed to Vitality B. And then they jailed him until the very last moment so he couldn't find a team. But Smiley's personality is really simple. He got fucking jailed, bro. Does that make sense? So what happened was Smiley had a bunch of good teams to go, but then he got fucking jailed and then had to join a shit team. The org is fine. I'm not gonna lie. I talked to the Gamers Origin owners. They're good people and they're good owners, but their roster and their budget was dog shit. My personal opinion. And their coach was a bit troll too. So not jail IRL. He joined this team called Geo. He didn't join a great team, and if you have bad results in 1 year, when you join a bad team, what
Eu tenho
happens the
conta
next
secreta
year?
top 50.
It's harder to join a good team after. Do you agree? Agree, chat? So basically, he got contract jailed. So now he couldn't join a good team. So he was stuck in a bad team for another year. Do I think it's a
Isso é
terrible
massa
team? No,
nesses
I think
times.
the German league team, Eintracht Spandau, was actually decent. But the problem is the competition was very hard. So basically to give you a rundown, why was Smiley picked? I think a really big reason was he was, first of all, number one, under market value. Under market value. Does that make sense? Like the keyed budget is
Que
maybe
isso?
5th/6th place,
Que isso,
including
céu?
my salary.
Que isso?
Including my salary.
Como assim budget pra quinto, sexto lugar?
So I need to find a player that is
Sei não,
good
hein,
value for
velho?
money. I know that Smiley was, first of all, under market value. Number two, I think that he was
papo é
way
meio
better
estranho, mano.
than people think. Way better. Number three, best teammate I've ever seen in 4 years of coaching. My number one priority going to Brazil is changing the team culture. Even if we lose, I'll explain in a second. Even if we lose
Julinaldo,
year
sem
one,
xingar,
I
mano.
want to
Vai, sem xingar,
develop
mano.
a team culture that
O cara tá passando a
emphasizes
visão dele, vamos ver
one,
de qual é que é.
focus on training, good training habits, building up the players and their confidence, not breaking them down. Positivity, like bringing a positive atmosphere. How do I make the text bigger, guys? Do you guys know? There we go. So I really want to focus on developing the
Cara,
positive atmosphere.
Smiley é melhor que Netuno, que Brains, que Titã? É melhor? Não é, velho.
And
Segundo
let
meu
me be
livro, não é, mano.
truthful with you, right? If I want the best player,
Nossos melhores
and
ADC é
Smiley knows
nível
this too,
Lec, tio.
I'd
Os
get a
caras é
Korean.
calibre Lec.
The level gap is so
Vem com o
sorry,
Master pra
it's
cima
true.
de nós, não.
Like, I can get an affordable Korean will gap that's like
Eu poderia conseguir um
17
jogador coreano.
that will gap
Nossa.
most EU players and obviously BR players.
Cara,
But
será? Cara,
that-
isso aqui é foda, mano. Tipo assim, eu quero acreditar nisso, mas eu não consigo acreditar tanto, tá ligado? Ele falou. O coach falou que ele poderia conseguir um jogador coreano de preço acessível de 17
Korean
anos,
will gap that's like 17 that
que
will
ia
gap
deitar e rolar
most
na Europa
EU
e
players
com certeza no Brasil.
and-
Mas eu não acho que é tão fácil assim, mano. Não? Pô, olha o Lava, viado. O Lava jogou LCK, sei lá, 4, 5, 6 anos, mano. Ele veio pra cá e ele não. Porra, tipo assim, ele jogou ok, mas não deitou e rolou em ninguém, mano. Tem vários coreanos que jogaram, tipo, foram pica, vieram pra cá e, mano, foda-se, tá ligado? Não se adaptaram bem, mano.
obviously BR.
Aí, tipo, e pensa, o Live é um cara experiente ainda, tá ligado? E jogava LCK. Aí tu vai chamar um cara de 17 anos, que nunca nem jogou LCK, que é novo e ele vai deitar e rolar no Brasil? Pô, talvez role. Mas não acho que é fácil assim, mano.
That doesn't help build team culture.
Não
I
é-
really hesitated.
Eu acho que, sei lá, em
to look
2014, 15, era isso mesmo. Pegava um cara lá, trazia, o cara deitava e rolava. Hoje em dia, não acho que é assim, não, velho.
to bring Koreans in.
Sério mesmo.
Two reasons. One, their culture is very different.
Então, o Lava nunca foi destaque na LCK, mas só dele estar na LCK mostra que, tipo assim, pô, mano, a liga ele treina contra os melhores, tá ligado? A liga é boa, e é um cara experiente, entendeu? Agora tu trazer um moleque novo que não tem
to Brazil.
experiência. sei
Number
lá.
one. So, personalities won't fit. Number two is their practice routine and mindset
vamos ver, ele
is
tem-
not applicable to anything outside of Korea. How they grew up and
Ele adora
what's
bloco de notas.
even
né?
legal in South
Mas é
Korea
pra ele não se
is
perder, eu acho.
fucking illegal everywhere else except China. So if I use the Korean method in Brazil, I will go to jail. Does that make sense? Real jail. Like, do you know how the players practice in Brazil? Korean schedule is like this: 1 to 4 p.m., 5 to 8 p.m., scrim. 9 to 12 a.m., scrim. 12 to 4 a.m., solo queue. Again, repeat. So you're telling
Tá
me
ruim?
that I can bring a Korean in, build a long-term structure. No, I'm not joking. Build a long-term structure in Brazil. Like, even the non-intense schedule is 1 to 4 scrim, 3-hour break, 7 to 11
É
p.m.
3
scrim,
blocos, né?
11 p.m. to
É,
3
parece ser
a.m.
bem
minimum
puxado.
solo queue. Not possible.
Cara, o último
So-
split
so-
que eu joguei era um bloco. Que porra é essa, cara? Era um bloco, era 5 jogos e a gente jogava só 4, o último sempre miava, mano. Eu treinava 4 jogos por dia, mano.
So for me, it's like, okay, I need to ask the question, why do we need a
mano.
good team culture? Number one
Brasil
for
é
us
foda.
was we want to change the team culture, right? For practice, better team practice. And we can be an org that people want to come to. Something that's important just as much as coaching and other things. Right, guys, why is this doing this? Coaching and other things is players want to have to come
Eu rio,
to your
mano.
org. Do you know why?
É a
Instead of
nossa
paying,
realidade, eu
let's
fazer o
just say
quê?
5k Brazilian real for a player. If your org is schemado, it will cost 8 to 10k. I'm not joking. Really. For example, just because I'm in Keep, this is what people forget, don't understand about players take up to 40% pay cut. Really. So, like, the amount you invest in me, you get plus alpha because I look after my players. I would rather lose my job. They take less money than fuck over a player. And I've done that before. And people know this. That's my reputation. So what's really important is if you have a good team culture, with or without me, right? I want the org to succeed, even if I leave. I would rather die than fuck a player, right? That's what I mean. So even if I leave, they need to be a team. Everyone wants to join. I swear on my fucking ass, bro. I
Ele
swear
quer
on my
mudar o
ass.
Vivo Kid como
Pay
todo.
cuts is like cheaper salary. They take 40% cheaper salary because I'm coach. And I want a good org. So without me, they can still do this. Number one way to do it is good management. And one of the reasons I joined Keed was good management. The people that I really look up to here was like Hugo, the CEO, and I'm not just sucking ass here because I had options, right? Hugo, Pedro, Edu were all the same vision. And you know, Hugo and Pedro, I think, actively lead the team a little bit more. So really, like, good team culture means better talent. Is better talent for cheaper,
Quem que é o time da
which is more affordable and gives you more success.
Tocou
Right?
Ali,
And this is the
Smiley,
most
quem que é o
important.
suporte?
Better practice, better environment means what? Better talent development. So my number 2 was talent development.
Damage?
Who do we have in our academy
Esse
roster right
time
now?
não é ruim, não. Esse time é
Mortius.
bom, mano.
According to our data, or my data, Mortius was the second best ADC in pure data after Brands. Skill-wise, he's
Brasil?
quite far off right now. Like, I think Titan is number 1, Brands number 2, and everyone else is really far off, even Netuno. But I think Mortius is insane talent. No, excluding Koreans, guys. I
Leão
told you
não
I don't
existe
want
mais,
Koreans,
Oficial.
right? Listen, if there's one role,
O que o Leão fez com o Morteus não existe mais na
I
Mix
think
Cup?
a
Deitou e
Brazilian
rolou
should
nele?
play. It's ADC. Why? No brain, all mechanics. I'm sorry. It's true. So, no flame. Like, what makes Titan special is he has both. Rance doesn't. He has better mechanics, I think. So why Smiley? Who can lead a team? Smiley. Who can create good team culture? Smiley. Who
Caralho!
can be a role model
Que
for
isso?
future success?
Ismael, é
and
tudo
talent?
isso?
Smiley.
Cadê
I
esse
don't like
menino?
throwing rookies under the bus.
Onde que esse
I
menino
think
tava o tempo
bringing
todo, mano?
Pro Delta straight to CBLOL in that team in second split is fucking stupid. Sorry. Let me tell you why. I will
Esses
not
manos foi tudo
throw
isso,
my
fudeu,
rookie
mano.
under a bus. I want to give
Fudeu,
time
mano.
and space to show Mortius. What does a good leader look like? What does a good team environment look like? What makes a good teammate? Make sense? Make sense? What does high-level League of Legends look like? Smiley is still fucking good. He can play against Root. I mean, you'll see. Root, Rance, and Titan. No problem. He's
No
still
problem.
middle bottom LEC level. He just isn't insane. That's my honest opinion. Like, for example, I think Bao is really insane. Noah, Kazi, Comp, he's a bit below them. According to my experience and data, he's similar to Harpoon, Kedui,
Isso
etc.
pode
Hans is a
envelhecer
different
mal,
level.
mano.
Hans is the best in Europe. Does that make
Smiley
sense, guys?
é fucking good.
So in Brazil,
É,
he
vamos
is top
ver.
three.
Eu não vi
And
muito cara jogar.
my honest opinion
Não tenho
is
muita opinião. Não. Tem que
Smiley
esperar dia
has
20 aí,
the
vamos ver, né, mano?
ability and potential to be number 1. Why do I think that? Well, number 1, data. Number 2, solo queue. Number 3, pro play. Number 4, my experience with him. Yes. Guys, what do you guys know about Smiley? In 2021, 70% win rate, 1,200 LP, rank 1 solo queue. Smiley. Finalist in German League, 2024. 2022 to 2023, consistently 1.5k LP challenger. Top 5 to 10 ADCs in Europe in solo queue. Data, he's on like middle bottom, including LEC. That's a fact. Has big champ pool. Kalist is 17, and he would never come to Brazil. Guys, why would Kalist come to Brazil? Guys.
Mano, sabe o que eu acho foda disso? É que, tipo assim, eu consigo crer no Cold Seal que às vezes esse Smiley é isso tudo. Mas por que desgraça esse cara não tá no Alec, então, mano? Se ele é essa porra toda, mano. Tem Unluck do Luscão envolvido, mano?
Come on. Don't be stupid.
É
Like, it's
estranho
very
isso, tá
rare
ligado? É,
to
me
get top
convenceu.
talent in Brazil. Like, to
Me
be honest, I
convenceu,
have
Ismael.
no reason to join. I joined
Mas cadê esse
because,
menino, velho?
1, Keed, management. Number 1. 2,
O Celso não
long-term
tá na
vision.
Alec porque é
Number
brasileiro,
3,
né, mano?
honor over money. I can't join G2.
Se o Celso fosse
So,
europeu, estaria na G2 já, dando
I can't win
risada.
worlds. What's the point? I can't join LCK. So what's the point? I already won LEC. I mean, I've said it before. Like, there's no reason for Kalis to come. So the thing with Koreans also is that you're never really getting top Korean level players, because if they were top level, they would go LEC,
Mano,
LCK,
tipo assim,
LPL.
ele falou que ele é meio pra baixo de tabela, certo? Pior que os caras que são top. Mas mesmo assim, mano, tipo assim, ele poderia estar num time top 8, não? Top 7, por que não? Da LEC, por que não? Ele não precisa entrar e estar num time pica, tipo G2, sei lá.
NA. No, for me, I want to build a legacy. So Smiley has good mechanics, good play, top level for Brazil. Best team environment architect.
Guys,
Then
eu
set
sei que
the
ele,
road for
eu sei
Mortius.
que ele ficou num time lá por um split de refém, mano. Mas, tipo assim, se o cara é tão pica assim, não é pra isso, só essa situação, fuder ele pro resto da vida, mano, na teoria, tá ligado? Se ele é tão pica assim, não é pra, mano, uma vez que ele ficou preso em um contrato com o time, fudeu. É assim? Não acho que seja assim, tá ligado? Se o cara é, tipo assim, esse nível todo, mano.
In 2 years. Can prepare
Não é
and
possível,
show
mano.
our top rookies. And perpetuate, so continue good examples and environment. In-game leader.
Porque,
high
tipo
LP
assim, se o
solo
cara é pica,
Decent.
Tipo... Ah, foda-se essa porra.
decent
Vamos ver o que ele
data.
tá falando.
Under market value. That's why we pick Smiley. Sometimes you need to choose, right? And what I can tell you right now is that you don't need the best players to win. In fact, getting 5 top
Netuno de
players
refém?
is often... How often do super teams work? 1 in 20? 1 in 30? Historically. What matters is how they work together. So what I'm really thinking is I need to be realistic. And by the way, I don't think Kaboom's a super team, but we'll talk about that. How does Smiley fit with the
Tá
other
achando que
4
o CBLOL vai
pieces?
ser
This
uma
is what I need to
creche?
consider.
E
Does
se
that make
for?
sense? How does Smiley fit with the other players? He works really fucking well with Dakyo. He makes
se for
Dakyo a
creche?
better player and a better
Fudeu.
person. He gives confidence to his teammates. He brings up his teammates. House is insane, by the way. You guys are crazy. House is number 1 in data. House was number 1 in data for us. He was the best mid laner in data. The best mid laner in data. Especially on control mages. But the problem with House was he's very expensive in Brazil. And he has a limited champion pool.
House é
And then
bom,
also
só é
you have to
pipoqueiro.
consider things like outside of his his outside life. How does he perform in
Outside
stress?
life.
How does he deal with teammates? How does he deal with stress? How does he deal with his habits outside? Does he drink alcohol? Right? But he's very good. He's very good. So, I mean, for me, guys, there's no better choice than Smiley. No better choice. And to be completely honest, we had one other option, Titan Dinkido. So it would have been something like Gigo, Yampi, Ranger, Titan. But budget-wise, it's too much. It was hard. It was hard. Like, even if I took a 100k pay cut, it would be hard. We'd barely make it. So which player should we go on to next, guys? Why do we keep Gigo? But by the way, Titan is worth every cent.
talent.
He's intelligent. He's mechanically strong. He's a decent teammate, / motivated, and driven to win. And he's a native Brazilian, which opens up another import slot. No, I mean Titan's good, guys, for sure. I'm getting a
House
lot of
tá na
different ones.
Super
So
Cabo.
should we do Disarmus, Gigo, Pro Delta, or Tukui? I mean, Tukui is not much, guys. Tukui data is almost caps level. He's been LEC level for a long time. I think just
Caralho.
needs help with
Pô, isso é muito forte, mano.
is almost caps level. He's been LEC level for a long time. I think just needs help with confidence and
Estatisticamente tá no quase o
team
nível do
environment.
Caps.
And he needs good coach. Yeah, his data is insane. Like Tukui isn't a player that should be in Brazil. I messaged him every day for like 2 months to join. I can join Keed because I was contract jailed.
Não, o
Because
Tukui ele
I
é bom,
was
eu já vi ele
contract
jogar
jailed,
já.
so I had no verbal agreement, and
Mas
I
não sei
said,
se é...
"Heretics, let me go.
Vamos
I
ver.
really want to go to Brazil." And I was like, "You can
Cara,
find a good
ele
wife
falou em
for like 2 months."
estatística. Com certeza o Caps é 1 bilhão de vezes melhor que o Tukui, mas estatisticamente é
No,
parecido,
but like
tá ligado?
I hadn't had a verbal agreement then. So basically like Tukui level is not for Brazil. He's like his contract was massive in Europe for ERL. He played in LCS and could easily outmid half the LEC mid laners. Like he took a big risk. to come to Brazil. Like 2 months of begging, not literally 2 months, by the way, obviously, not 2 months of begging. He also sacrificed a lot salary, to be clear, guys. He's easily Tino's level. So Tukui can play mages, assassins, tanks. He has good data on all. He's consistently high challenger. 2x French champion. He's almost taking he would make elsewhere. Similar to me. And he's joining because we locked. Here's the important part, guys.
É isso que a gente vai ver quando eu amassar seu crânio.
Like, he really wants to go worlds. Because as I said, guys, good practice, good environment, being happy is probably more important. Does that make sense? For most players. That's why top players join top teams, because top teams have good orgs.
Eu acho que o Tokoi ele é melhor que o Tinoso,
Even,
mano.
like,
Do
if
que
you
eu
want to
assisti,
sign
sacanagem,
good
meu.
players and your org is bad, you pay so much
Será
more
que o
money.
Tio já me iludiu
Especially
já, mano?
if you have a bad coach. So Tukui
que é mesmo,
is
suave.
too fucking good
Mas
for
eu já
Brazil,
assisti o
to
Smile,
be
eu não
honest.
assisti, então.
Does that answer enough about Tukui? And like, this shows how valuable Smiley is. So Tukui is a part of my 5-year plan. He will stay. Smiley will have to fight for his spot after year 2. From year 3 onwards, he would
Caralho, é
will
plano de
have had to
5
show me
anos, mano.
he has the level to play international. Because my
Cara,
goal
tipo
is
assim, é até maneiro isso, mano. Tipo assim, essa mentalidade dele de vir, de querer mudar a cultura do time, 5 anos. Só que, cara, é muito difícil ver isso, tipo... Claro, não digo nem deles ganhar ou perder, mas no Brasil é difícil, mano. Tipo, ninguém... Os caras não têm paciência não, tá ligado? As próprias organizações não têm, mano. Tipo assim... Dá errado, já quer mudar, tá ligado? Tu manter o mesmo projeto, a mesma parada por muito tempo, é muito difícil, cara. São poucas organizações que fazem isso, tá ligado?
to make groups, ideally top 8. So even if I don't win this year and it ruins my rep, I need to find my core players. Does that make sense? Like, I will probably get Van Petersod giga hard when I lose. My mindset is never to win day 1. It's to win year 2 and have the best core year 3. Does that make sense? So, Decimus, Pro Delta, same thing. Best data, number 1 in solo queue. Easily the best. I think both were really under market value. Let's start with Decimus. So, Decimus data, and I kid you not, number 2, 3, and 4.
Que
Same
isso?
time. Best data. And
Que
he's
isso,
unique
velho?
because he has low deaths, high
Decimus é
GPM,
leão.
and
É leão das
high,
ranqueadas, mano.
high DPM. So most top players, so if you look at players like Caps, right? Gold per minute. Gold per minute. The best world-class players have really high gold per minute, very high damage per minute, but high death. But the difference between Decimus, and you very rarely get exceptions, is that he's able to fuck people really hard and not die, which means he's winning every fight in the data. No, high kills too. So I scouted him before he went to Brazil, before he went to Korea. He's an exception. There's one player that's like this.
Hansama
in
é
Europe.
forte.
Hansama. One
Hansama
player.
é forte.
So what can I do with Decimus? Well, I think Decimus's team environment, in my opinion, probably not good. Number 2, I think he's really fucking stupid. Or
Que
was.
isso?
Like, he was really stuck in Grandmaster in Korea, initially. And number 3, he's a rookie.
Falou que o
So
cara é
he doesn't know
estúpido.
how to behave in a team. He is mechanically gifted, smart, hungry, learns fast, everything you want in a player. But unfortunately for him, he's born in Brazil. So it's really hard to grow. So I want to grow him fast. That's what I'm being honest. So what ended up happening? What ended up happening to Decimus? Only one other player got to the similar rank. 1,400 LP. Challenger career. And I coached him from Master. Only Brantz got to this
man.
level. And I think Brantz is top 2 in his role, which means what? Well, I think he was a bit of a semi-one trick with Lee Sin, like playing a blind. If given time, I think that Decimus is in my 5-year plan. Like, the reason I took Decimus and Pro Delta is I think they have the potential to play.
É isso que a gente vai ver quando eu amassar seu crânio.
Stage play
Tão
is
convencidos,
different,
guys, com a
but
Super
also,
Cage,
like,
mano?
can be trained. Stress management.
Eu já vi o
So Pro
suficiente,
Delta,
mano.
rank 1 data, not even close. he is that guy. Initially, we couldn't get him. Payne trolled again, so we got him really cheap. I think the best supports right now are one Seels, two Jojo, or Frosty.
Beleza.
I think Frosty, 3 Jojo, 4 damage, 5 Pro Delta.
Pô,
I don't know
4
about Curry,
damage
so
eu não
I'll
sei
leave
não,
Curry,
mano.
okay? But I think in
Cortes, eu
potential,
não sei
it's
não.
1 Frosty / Pro Delta, 2 Jojo, 3 everyone else. Like,
Que isso?
Seels
Cadê? Sai
isn't
nessa
going-
lista aí, mano. Pô, essa lista aqui de potencial era pro Zay tá em primeiro, mano. Tá doido, mano. Eu posso tá doido, mano. Mas, pô, o Zay... Sou fã, mano. Sou fã. O Zay é o próximo Cells, mano.
to grow
É o que tem mais
that much
potencial
more.
de
I think
todos, mano.
he's the best
que é
player
bom,
in Brazil. Full stop. Not just in his role. I think Seels is the best. Zay is like number 6 or 7.
Zay
Damage
é
is not
forte,
garbage.
tio.
Damage is not garbage. Damage is okay. I think Damage is a good player. I
O
think
Zay não
Damage
tá
right
nessa
now
lista aí. Não gosto,
is
não.
better than Pro Delta. But I think Pro Delta's level can play with the Asians. Redbird, Evita dog. Look, this is all I'm gonna reveal. I think he's okay. I think Redbird is okay, but like he's definitely not Seels Frosty Jojo level. That's 100% true, no? I think everybody agrees with that, even Payne. Yeah, Zay's Pike got a pentakill against my team, so we don't talk about this, okay? So I think Redbird has potential, but my guess is he will suffer in pain. Not pain, sorry. What am I saying? Loud. That's my opinion. I think Jojo, like, you can argue Jojo is better than Frosty. I think that's what happened.
Coach,
Like,
já
I
conhece
wanted-
mais os
I
nossos
wanted
jogadores
Frosty,
do que nós,
his
mano.
buyout was like 1 million real. Like this is before we knew we could get Pro Delta.
Thank you for believe on Brazil.
Thank you, Bruno Adelpo. Anyway, so look, guys, his level is really good. And Pro Delta's data was by far number 1. Like, give me a sec. Okay, I can't show you because I will leak too much. But
Guys,
let me
aqui
just say
vamos
that
torcer pro
he's number
Arcade,
1.
mano.
Okay. So
Aqui olha
let's
aquela
go with,
camisa já do Smiley, mano.
let's go with Gigo.
Tô pro
Number 1 in
caralho.
data, better than Robbo.
Já viu o
I think
suficiente, já.
this year, like,
Cê é
Pete
louco.
roster was
Me
terrorism.
convenceu.
Like, I think
Me
mid
convenceu.
jungle that didn't work. Bot was
Enquanto o
average.
coach da Luz não
and
fizer
I
desse
saw
bonitinho
all
explicando
beyond the
tudo
stars.
mastigadinho,
When you're asking
uma pena,
why
velho.
players got replaced, I hope that answers your question. Well, like, number 1 for me, like, there was a world where Greftar stayed. Number 2 is like the only Grell was
Smiley
locked
tem mais
to leave.
qualidades que
This
o
was
Ur.
100% on me. And 3, it just came down to, like, if Took was available, us selling Greftar just made sense. Like, I don't think Greftar's performance was his fault. He looked good with Aegis. And obviously, we're all hesitant giving Greftar the best environment to beat us by going to Red. Brant's, Jojo, and Aegis.
Essa
right?
red é melhor que
But
essa Super
we
Kid
did the
de
right
hoje.
thing. Because Heed and myself is about ethics. I'll be honest. I think Greftar has the level. I think Greftar has the level, but his laning is, yeah. I think he will always struggle versus international mid, and he didn't 100% fit the profile I needed to develop Mortius, because I need an oppressive mid jungle, not one that sits back and roams 24/7 with 7 CS, 6 CSPM, aka Brazilian Niski. So Greftar is a really good player. I chose Took because Mortius and the future of Kid. And also, like, I think that Greftar is almost too vocal. Something I need to think about is I want to give space for my rookies to grow. According to let's just talk about what's the word? Like traditional sports science.
Coach Sil tá vindo de corpo e alma pra essa cage,
Novatos,
mano.
novatos. Novice. Are you learning Portuguese? Portuguese, yeah. Eu estou estudando português. 2 meses.
Já fala melhor que o Burra já, mano.
2 meses. But according to traditional sports science, aka like and performance coaching, one of the most important things in a team to develop rookies, or in a team in general, is autonomy, aka the ability to be heard, do your own thing, be able to express opinion. I don't think Prods had that. Make sense? When Zeus came out of T1 Academy, they gave him this space and developed him from young age. And Grev has very, very strong opinions. So that's the Grevta. So why Trigger and Damage? I genuinely think they're good pieces. But it ended up where I just didn't have spots for them. Really. I promise. I swear on my 2 testicles. Like, I swear, bro. Like, Trigo is solid piece. I think Trigo has potential, but needs good coaching. Damage is already a good piece. Like, it just didn't fit. Even though their personality profiles. So why Gigo? Gigo is just up to Brazil. Robo, Gigo. Number 1 data. Good teammate. Hungry to win. The only thing is, like, the only con is he doesn't play solo queue. So when I'm in Brazil, so like right now I can't control him because I'm in Germany. But when I'm in Brazil, he will die. He needs to work. But I also think he can play international level. Like, I think his potential is similar to Robo, maybe higher. That's my honest opinion. So, like, losing Gigo made no sense. He can play both tanks and bruisers. He can play weak side and strong side. Although both need work. He can play mechanically and solid understanding of the game. Give space to others to talk. He's everything I want. Also in my 5-year plan. Gigo trades on bounce waves a lot. He's like Soskiti. He's very buho on weak side. Everyone read it? I can move on? So like, Brazil, Took is staying, okay? Sorry, Gigo is staying. So Lifania, LPLOL champ, although I do think it's similar to T3. Impressive EU Masters run.
Ele falou brasileiro, guys.
I wanted a Brazilian. He really overperformed from a weak region. He primarily coached online, so he needs to develop his sense IRL. Because what most managers don't do, the head coach, sorry, like in football terms, is like the player mood, player condition matters. How you structure feedback and do drafts needs to change because your stress point or who can handle the stress and carry changes depending on this. So basically Lifania, for me, I gave him the job in 30 minutes.
Cara, eu tava pensando nisso agora, mano.
Why?
Tipo assim, caralho, o review, tá ligado? Tipo, dos treinos do Coach deve derreter
Well, as I said, I want a Brazilian
mano,
because part of my mission is to coach coaches.
Porque ele mano, ele solta muita informação, tá ligado?
Term that can take my position and do a good job. And there are a lot of people that say I want to be a coach. I'll be honest with you guys, okay? If you're in chats saying I want to be a coach, the chance of you joining Keed is 0.001%. Like, please focus on developing your resume first. I'll be honest. You need to have some level. So like Lifania, I didn't want someone that struggled to speak English. I didn't want so they can lead
Ele é o nosso Pepe
Brazil
Guardiola do
and
Legend.
elevate the region and be the core of Keed for years. I didn't
Mano,
want
eu acho
someone
que é
that struggled to
maneiro o
speak
que ele tá
English.
tentando fazer. Sério mesmo, mano. Ele me convenceu. Eu acho que. Tipo assim, é um plano, mano. Ele tem um plano, tá ligado? Ele tem um projeto de mudar a cultura. Ele trouxe players que ele conhecia, não sei o quê. Só que, tipo assim, na teoria é diferente da prática, tá ligado? Tipo, mano, tá muito lindo tudo no bloco de notas escrito, tá ligado?
Lifania.
Mas, porra, é um projeto de 5 anos no Brasil, eu acho que, mano, acho que ele tá chapando um pouco, tá ligado? Tipo assim, um ano assim, que se for muito, sei lá, fica em quinto, em sexto, aí depois, sei lá, vai pro playoff, fica em quarto. Tipo, foi o que eu falei, é difícil, cara, ver o time falando, não, mano, vamos manter, vamos continuar, vamos aí, o próximo ano vai ser bom, não sei o que. Os caras, tipo assim, ainda mais se tiver jogador que, tipo, já é um pouco mais velho, tá ligado? Tipo, o Smiley tem 25 anos, sei o que lá, os caras vão começar a tendência, quando começa a dar errado, é tipo assim, os caras investem, sei lá, chama Lava, um monte de cara coreano, foda-se. Não dá certo, os caras arrancam, mano, começa com novos talentos, tá ligado? Que faz sentido, né? Faz sentido.
has perfect.
É mais barato também, não sei o quê.
English. And I didn't want someone that didn't have
Mas ele
the
falou um
basic
pouco disso também com o bagulho do Morteus, tá ligado? Tipo, o Smiley tem que se provar pra ficar, se ele não provar. Provavelmente porque ele também tá um pouco velho já, o Morteus tende a subir.
level
Falou
where
que ele
I
tem
would have to
bastante
teach someone
teto pra melhorar.
everything from the very start. And I want someone who is organized,
É, não, ele
speaks
falou isso,
well,
mas
and
ele falou que é
generally
algo
intelligent.
imediato, mas tipo assim, ele pode lutar pra continuar, tá ligado? Se ele performar bem, ele pode continuar.
So yeah, I mean that's why Lifeania was picked. If you see Lifeania, to give you guys an idea, Lifeania is someone that won LPLO twice. This is the Portuguese league. He's consistently made better results, and he made a very, very historic run in EU Masters because basically, to tell you the truth, Portuguese league sucks cock. They're basically like the worst fucking region in Europe in regional leagues. And he made it to top 8, which is crazy. And all of his references were really good. I put really heavy emphasis on player reference.
5 anos pra passar da fase
no
de grupo
one
no
will
Worlds.
be more honest.
Não, eu
See,
concordo,
okay, let me give-
mas é o. Tipo assim, eu não vejo nenhum time, nenhuma organização falando, mano, 5 anos aí você tem, trabalha aí e boa sorte. E tipo assim, e mantém esses 5 anos, tá ligado? Mesmo dando bom, dando ruim. A tendência é que se dá ruim, os caras é imediatista, tipo, quer trocar, tá ligado? No máximo, porra, 1 ano e meio, tá ligado? 3
Give you an
split.
example. Like if
Os
LFL
caras falam,
is
não,
similar
rala.
to CBLOL,
Tá legal essa
maybe a
porra.
bit worse. Turkey, same. Maybe
Até
similar
ganhando,
or-
os caras querem mudar, velho. Pensa nessa porra, mano. No Brasil, até ganhando, até dando certo, até dando bom, os caras querem mudar, não quer ficar com o mesmo time. Imagina dando merda, mano. Tá ligado? Acontece isso pra caralho. A Luz primeiro split ficou em terceiro. Tipo assim, claro, não ganharam, mas tá quase ali, mano. Mudou o time pra caralho, mano. Ficou top, aí Ranger foi pra sup. Então tem essa cultura de querer mudar toda hora, tá ligado?
or
Por isso
a
que eu
bit
acho que esse bagulho, ele tá viajando um pouco nessa de 5 anos, mano.
worse. But I
Mas
think
vamos
similar.
surfar.
Then
Vamos surfar.
LVP Prime is a bit below that. IMO. Prime. So this is Spanish and German leagues are a bit below the Turkish and French leagues, a bit below, just because of budget and everything, but not by much. So there's a lot of talented Spanish players. I love the Spaniards. At the very bottom, it's like Italy League. Then it's like the Balkan League. Then it's like the Greek League. Ultraliga's here. You can argue Ultraliga similar to Prime League. Then it's like LPLO, Portugal, and Hit Point Masters. But he got a team from the fucking Portuguese league and went top 8. So he beat a lot of these teams to get here. That's crazy. He lost to the Italian team 0-3, but even getting out of groups was very impressive. To be honest, I don't really care about results. I just wanted to
Loud ganhou tudo e o coach foi quicado, né, velho?
explain so you guys understand
Foda.
the significance, so like the level of Portugal. To be honest, you should never
Se eu
ever
tivesse o Morgan,
judge a
entregaria tudo
coach
pra esse
by
cara em 5
results,
anos. Ele me convenceu.
because
Ele tem
there's
essa
so much
lábia,
that
né,
can happen.
mano?
Just read
Eu quero contratar o
the
Cortes,
references of the players.
já
Yeah, I think
vi
we
o
can compete against
suficiente.
everyone. So like TLDR on our roster, I think we can win CBLOL year 1. Goal is top 3. To be honest, realistic expectation should be 5th/6th. This is a fair placing. That is fair to budget. Anything above is overperforming. Anything below is underperforming. I think so. Because we have 2 gringos and 2 rookies. I think the level I showed at Heretics was not even 30% of what I can do for a lot of reasons. I won't talk about it here. Important thing is I learned a lot, and I think next year
Esse
we'll be
bloquinho
better.
de notas
I
é
think that's
mágico,
pretty- I
né,
think,
mano?
like, me, to be honest, like me ex Peter were not a good team, and a lot of it is on me.
Os donos
We
daqui
just
começou a
don't fit
cair
well.
nesse
Peter,
continho
I
de
respect
bloco de
to
nota
the end of
quando
the
viu, já assinou o
and he's a
contrato do
legend
menino já.
in the scene. And he also
O cara é bom.
was my mentor.
Não pode
So
negar, o cara
I
é
will
bom,
be thankful forever. He is a genuinely good person. We just didn't fit well. And there were instances where I just didn't agree and entered too. Like, for example, we had mixed roles. In winter, I did draft, Peter did review. In spring, I did review, he did draft. In summer, Peter did both, which I think is just better. Because review and drafts need to reflect how you want to play the game, and they need to be the same. Whether or not I agree with the vision, in summer I played a fully supportive role. This is very different from Road, because like everything other than the final draft, I had a say, basically. That's my honest opinion. So I mean, I think that I learned a lot. I feel really bad. Like I feel really bad about Heretics because like I did fail without a doubt, and you know, like I can only just get up and keep going. I think head coach should always do both, and then delegate depending on the situation. Because review is an overview of how you want the game to be played, and the draft is the way that determines how you should play. For example, if you have
880 com o Seeel?
Thresh bot, you're diving bot.
Ou ele é 300 QI, tipo assim, choca o país, ou, mano, ou choca o país positivamente ou negativamente, não.
Needs to match that. This is what we didn't really connect with. I think I hella trolled. But also we were coaching the same team. Like Peter was my mentor for years. So, but I also think that, like, I joined Heretics thinking that Peter was more of a delegator. Like, because in Mad Lions, he delegated to Mac, and in LCS, he delegated to Rigby and Turtle, mostly, right? But I think he wanted to take a bit more of an active approach, and that's fine. I think his view on the game
Mas é isso, mano. Depois de 43 minutos e 24 segundos, somos todos torcedores da Cade,
very
mano.
good too. Is it time to coach Nick, guys? So I think I explained.
O homem é bom, velho.